Welcome to Judge of Ghana TV. Akwaba Eba, Judge of Ghana TV. So, before we delve into take a deep dive into what we want to really talk about, I want to look at the first cabinet of Kwame Nkrumah, the founder of Ghana and the first president of Ghana. The one who was, if he wasn't there, no other president of Ghana to date, including President Nana Akufo-Addo, would have manifested in a country called Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah was the key person that ensured that Ghana became Ghana. Without him, there will be no Ghana. So if people try to belittle him after all these years, since 67 years after independence, which without his input, there would have been no independence for Ghana. Ghana would not have existed. Nti sɛ after 67 years, sɛ nkurɔfoɔ pɛ sɛ yɛka sɛ Dr. Kwame Nkrumah anyɛ hwee a, ɔmo boa because ɛnka Dr. Kwame Nkrumah wamba a ambɛgye Ghana nsi hɔ, ɛnka yɛnnya president biara a wɔbɛyɛ president of Ghana up to now. Nti ɛnam obi so ɛna obi ɛba. Ɛte sɛ obi ka sɛ ne nana ɛho ni mfasoɔ. Nka wo nana amba a, nka wo betumi aba. Saa na adeɛ ne teɛ. In business, there's something called key man. Without the key man, the vision will not be realized for any company. So even a lot of the big companies in Europe and in America, in the Western world, as they say, these people who are key men and women, but they call them key man. These key men or key people, they have to be insured so that if anything happens to them that is detrimental, at least the insurance cover will compensate the company to a certain level. So these people are critical to the functioning of any great organization. And this is the role that Kwame Nkrumah had. Without Kwame Nkrumah, there will be no Ghana. Now let's look at Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's first cabinet when he got independence from the British in 1957. Let's examine his first cabinet. Before that, let's look at a short profile of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah, na the full name, Francis Kwame Nkrumah. Na omu describe no as a Ghanaian Marxist politician, political theorist, and revolutionary, serving as the first president of Ghana from 1957 to 1966. Nkrumah served as Prime Minister of the Gold Coast before becoming the President of independent Ghana. He was an advocate of Pan-Africanism and a leading figure in the African decolonization. He studied at Lincoln University, University of Pennsylvania, London School of Economics, University College London, and Gray's Inn. Wohwɛ ɛmoma a Kwame Nkrumah okosuaeɛ, otu kwan kɔ amonone, ɛna okosuasua nneɛma from US ɛne America. Big institutions. Enti na Kwame Nkrumah no, na n'ani abie, ɛna n'adwene mu nso adɔ, ɛnda no adwene mu dɔ. Enti nneɛma a osuaeɛ no, nneɛma papa a osuaeɛ no, ɛna Nyame yɛ no maa no kwan bɛyɛ first president of Ghana. Wɔtaa sɛ wɔ apply. Enti na Ghana ɛkɔ so during Nkrumah time no. Na se say no ye call election 7 December 2024 for the next president of Ghana. E was say yen a ye koto aba no. We the voters, we must look for a candidate. Mm, na dwemu do. Nimdie. Wasua nneɛma from Amonone. Mm? Kwame Nkrumah na wasua moma kɔ n'anim ansa na ɔbɛyɛ president. Na onimdie pii gathered over the years. What you say? And na wayɛ nneɛma pii outside of Ghana ansa na ɔba back to get independence for Ghana. Nti na n'adwene mu dɔ. Saa nipa ne yɛhia. Na wohwɛ candidates a omudin aba forward for the 2024 general elections. Hmm? I'm talking about the two main parties. National Democratic Congress, John Mahama. Hmm? And may also kasa about New Patriotic Party, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Uhwe wisdom a efiri omo adwi mu ba no. Endru Kwame Nkrumah de no. Nimdie no endru Kwame Nkrumah de no. Out of these two populous or the two dominant duopoly, two parties, omu ni saa spark no na Kwame Nkrumah wɔ no. Na wohwɛ situation no, so wo be honest, na be situation no clearly, you look sharply, deeply at the situation, you will see say nkrofo na omo wɔ spark no ɛyɛ independent candidate for no. Hmm? Na independent candidate for no. Nkrofo na omo wɔ spark no a yen Ghana fo tumi hu so omo wɔ spark no. Se Kwame Nkrumah no. Ɛyɛ Alan John Kwadwo Kyerematen ɛne Nana Kwame Bediako. Alan John Kwadwo Kyerematen aka Alan Cash. Ɛna Nana Kwame Bediako aka Freedom Jacob Caesar aka Cheddar. When san nkrofo mienu wi ɛna ɔmo wɔ biribi. Nanso ɔmo krampo no mu no, baako is ahead of the other. And let's be honest, Alan John Kwadwo Kyerematen is ahead of Cheddar in terms of nimdie. And how obetumi atoto ne nneɛma ama Ghana afa ne ntoma pa efra. Alan is far ahead of Cheddar. Cheddar when you're ready. Or good ideas. Nka oye ho adwuma a ebetumi awɔke in the future. But Ghana, send Ghana atete apansam a yɛda fam team because of 32 years of New Patriotic Party and National Democratic Congress since 1992. Ghana da fam team. And it's all to do with the governance of these two major parties, National Democratic Congress and New Patriotic Party. And no na ama Ghana yato fam, yɛda fam team no. Me nua bi ka bibi kyerɛ me. Wɔ say after President Kufuor epege Ghana cedi no to dollar no, ɛyɛ 1-to-1 no. Na yɛfrɛ Ghana cedi no dollar, African dollar and a Ghana dollar. Nipa na oba after Kufuor no. The president oba after Kufuor no. Wan toto ne nneɛma yie antoa so bebia President Kufuor gyae no. Hɔ na enka Ghana ye started industrialization drive ya say no independent candidates nkwa na ɔmo ka about industrialization drive, especially Alan John Kwadwo Kyerematen and Nana Kwame Bediako. They are the ones that are talking about Ghana focusing on industrialization. So these are the two candidates who are ahead. Let me come back to what I was discussing so that before I head into the substantive matter, because what I want us to discuss today is Alan John Kwejo Tramatin's Great Transformational Plan versus Nana Kwame Bediako, 12 Pillars. But before then, I wanted to look at the first cabinet of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, had 12 ministers in his first ever government after gaining independence on March 6, 1957. Kwame Nkrumah had 12 ministers. So his cabinet consisted of 12 ministers. So, for a start, I want to say that for Nana Kwame Bediako to say that he will run a cabinet with 12 ministers, it's something that has happened before in Ghana. And when you are the foforo, it is possible to run Ghana with 12 members, a 12-member cabinet. Ɛyɛ possible. And I idea obi ayeda. Kwame Nkrumah na year first. And Nana Kwame Bediako or copy Kwame Nkrumah. And all person yes the same thing ebiom. Enti we enya the foforo. Ubetimi the 12 ministers around the cabinet. Nkrumah hwe edwuma a Nkrumah ye with 12. Upa che so muntu mi fa 12 ministers in run the cabinet. Hmm? However, wohwɛ Ghana, the state of Ghana say no a, ɛbɛyɛ den paa sɛ yɛde 12 ministers bɛra ne cabinet in the practical sense. At this juncture that Ghana is in, where we are rock bottom, with all this malfeasance and corruption scandals running rife in all these facets, it will be very difficult to run the country with 12 ministers. At this point in time, 2024, 2025, for the next 4 years, it's going to be difficult. Until Ghana has weeded out all the corruption and has got proper systems in place, it will be difficult to run this country called Ghana with 12 ministers. Okay, let's go through the 12 ministers that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, made his cabinet out of. These are the names of the people. Kojo Botsuo, he was the Minister for Trade and Labor, also served as the leader of the House. Next was Komla Agbeli Bedema, Minister for Finance. Thirdly was Archibald Casely Hayford. He was the Minister for Agriculture and Natural Resources. 4. Ebenezer Aku Ejei. He was the Minister for Interior. 5. Joseph Henry Alassani. He was the Minister for Health. John Bogola Ezua. He was the Minister for Education. 7. Kofi Asante Oforiata. He was the Minister for Local Government. 8. Nathaniel Azarko Welbeck. He was the Minister for Works and Housing. 9. Krobo Edusei. He was the Minister for Trade and Industry. 10. S.D. Dombo. He was the Minister for Lands and Mineral Resources. 11. E.A. Ajemang. He was the Minister for Communications. 12. J.B. Dankwa. He was the Minister for Justice. So, for all Ghanaians to know, in 2024, August the 4th, 24th, for those who don't know already, for any candidate today, which is in the form of Nana Kwame Bediako, to say he's going to run his cabinet with 12 ministers or 12 people. Kwame Nkrumah did it first. So he can do it. It is possible because it's been done before. As the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. So what Nana Kwame Bediako is proposing is nothing new. His 12 apostles, 12 apostolic ministry, government is nothing new. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, did it before. So let's settle that. Um, Now I finished with that. I will show you the picture. You should see it now of the um the first cabinet of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I have a picture here that I want to share. Um, this is the first cabinet of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. This is the picture of the first government of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Yes, yes. The 12 member cabinet of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's Kwame Nkrumah plus 12. So it is possible. Okay, we're going to first go through the 12 Pillars Manifesto summary of Nana Kwame Bediako, independent candidate for President of Ghana 2024, which happens on the 7th of December 2024. Nti me say you compare Nana Kwame Bediako of the New Force with versus Alan John Kyerematen of Movement for Change, both independent candidates who are touting industrialization. Yebesha almost manifesto na yabɔ tofa. Okay, Nana Kwame Bediako, also known as Cheddar or Jacob Freedom Caesar, recently launched his manifesto titled 12 Pillars for Economic Freedom on September 1st, 2024, as part of his campaign for the upcoming presidential elections in Ghana. And he is advocating a radical restructuring of governance and economic strategies to address the country's challenges. Key elements of the 12 Pillars Manifesto. 1. Apostolic governance. Bediako advocates for a lean government consisting of only 12 ministries, inspired by the 12 apostles of Christ. This approach aims to streamline governance and enhance efficiency. The proposed ministries include finance, trade, education, agriculture, foreign affairs, interior, health, justice, energy, business and employment, defense, tourism. First of all, um, Cheddar, Nana Kwame Bediako say the government to be very lean. Obewo 12 ministries in Kwa 12. 12. Now ministries no will say he's inspired by the 12 apostles of Christ. But men so me say on your first person or Ghana ha run Ghana with 12 ministries. The first person to do that was Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in his first government after he got independence in 1957. And also a ruling government with 12 ministers. Nti we nye novel idea. apostolic governance to any novel idea or Ghana ha. That is what I'm saying. But that is his plan. Me mom dear, me feel say Ghana, send a Ghana tete pansam no. You can run Ghana with 12 member cabinet or 12 ministries. Reason I make answer and say, nneɛma a akɔ so scandals ɛne nsɛm a akɔ so no ɛna yɛhia obi a obetumi yi ɔman no afiri gata no mu a yɛakɔhyɛ no tokuro no mu a yɛakɔhyɛ no a nneɛma nkɔ yie no, and it will take more than 12 um, ministers because adwuma no dɔɔso to unravel this entanglement. Nneɛma akɔ so a ɛnse sɛ ɛkɔ so. You know, nti woanya nkurɔfoɔ a wotraste ɔmo a ɔmo dɔɔso kakra a, nti me no personally no deɛ, me feel say Alan Kyerematen a wɔse ɔbɛuse 40 member cabinet no, 40 member cabinet no, ɛno bɛyɛ more effective than 12 because Ghana our systems are not developed to the point where you can manage with only 12. At the time of independence, when Kwame Nkrumah took Ghana away from the British, the system was working and the systems were in place because the British brought the same systems they were using over in the UK to Ghana. So at that point, it was easy for Kwame Nkrumah to plug into the legacy systems of the British and manage the country with 12 ministers in his cabinet. But because we didn't follow the good work of Kwame Nkrumah and successive NDC, National Democratic Congress, and NPP, New Patriotic Party governments failed to continue the good work started by Kwame Nkrumah and all the interim presidents and head of states through the coups and stuff over the years, it has led to the situation we're in now. At least for the last 32 years, Ghana has been a democratic country. However, both the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress, in the 32 years, 16 years each that they've ruled this country, they failed to follow on the good work of Kufuor when President Kufuor brought the Ghana cedi one on one with the US dollar, making the Ghana cedi the African dollar and the Ghanaian dollar. They failed to carry on the work by starting industrialization at that stage. Industrialization should have started after Kufuor pegged the Ghana cedi to the dollar, 1 to 1. If we'd done that by now, Ghana would have made progress. I don't think we'll be in the situation we're in where the finance minister is asking for an extra $500 million equivalent, which is 8 billion Ghana cedis, to prevent an impending food shortage. Just last week, that's what he said. So, because successive governments, and this leads me to think or to say categorically and conclusively that the idea to industrialize Ghana going forward did not come from either the New Patriotic Party or the National Democratic Congress. It didn't originate from there. It originated from the head of Alan John Kwejo Kyerematen because he was the first person to launch his Great Transformational Plan. And then the other parties, the major parties, National Democratic Congress and New Patriotic Party. So National Democratic Congress launched it a bit later than New Patriotic Party in August. They launched their manifestos. And then now Cheddar has launched this on the 1st of September 2024. So Alan was the first that launched his manifesto well, it's not manifesto, his Great Transformational Plan. He launched his Great Transformational Plan on the 23rd of June, and the other parties have followed, including Cheddar. So Alan was your originator, and everybody else is copying Alan's plan. So we have to give credit to Alan for that. And we know that neither the NPP or the NDC were the originators, because if they were the originators, in 32 years of governance under either party, they would have done something. I always say, so o person who de nipa beye echina, shede or ye enra. If you want to know what a person is going to do tomorrow, look at what they did yesterday. And what New Patriotic Party and National Democratic Congress have done yesterday suggests that they are not the originators of the Industrial Revolution plan. It is Alan John Kwejo Kyerematen. Yes. Everybody else is following and copying. Yes. So it's Alan who has gone back to take the mantle that Kwame Nkrumah left when he was kicked out of office by a coup. It is Alan that's gone back to collect the baton. So we have to give credit to Alan. And Alan is the one that has written his Great Transformation Plan and has been touting since 2008 when he wanted to become the flag bearer for the new Patriotic Party. However, he let go and let Nana Akufo-Addo take over the flag bearership, and he subsequently has become the president of Ghana. He let him go because he said he was Nana Akufo-Addo was older than him, and he'll get his chance. And then all the shenanigans happened in the new Patriotic Party, which led to him resigning last year, 23rd, 20 on I think it was in September 2023. He left. He announced his resignation. So let's go to the next point. In Cheddar thinks he's going to do. The next thing he's going to do, he's going to monetize Ghanaian citizenship. Cheddar or Nana Kwame Bediako plans to raise $50 billion by creating immigration packages that allow individuals to purchase Ghanaian citizenship, which he believes will boost the economy and foster a United States of Africa concept. This is nothing new. Other countries are doing it around the world. However, I think if we don't check the integrity of the people who are coming to want to become citizens of Ghana, we could be allowing all sorts of criminal elements to enter into the country of Ghana because they have money. So that is something that has to be checked. There has to be a check on who we allow to come into the country. Or say a check in nipa obeba say we nipa papa because nipa bone for nso tumi nipa bone for wo sika ebetumi abeto Ghana citizenship no. Nti say enye ne suban papa na yehwe na yede citizenship of Ghana manwa ebetumi cause problems ama Ghana in the future. Because the influx of foreigners to Ghana who claim they are now Ghanaian citizens na omuni suban papa no ebema ekuro no asɛe kuro no abɔ nti ɛno ɔsɛ yɛhwɛ ho asɛm ka but ɔno nso so ne idea no no. Three, Cheddar or Nana Bediako is talking that speaking that Ghana should print its own currency instead of relying on foreign firms, arguing that this will reduce cost and enhance economic sovereignty. And then the menena agree 100%. Asam we ache enye ne meni minua ya kasa about it say aden na Ghana ya yentwa yesika na yede ma abrofo no so muntwa ma yen. Sɛ Ghana tumi twa yɛn sika na ɛkyɛ sɛ yɛyɛ independent because independence no ɛwɔ sɛ ɛyɛ in every sphere instead wo rely on aborɔfo no for anything ɛwɔ sɛ wotumi manage it with deɛ wowɔ. Wodi wo kurom aduane ntade a wɔbɛhyɛ wohyɛ Ghana made in Ghana. Ghana ara na ɛtwa yɛ sika cause sɛ wontumi ntwa wo sika mpo a Also, we are independent. You're not independent. Ghana is not independent as we stand today, 2024, September 4th, 2024. Ghana is not independent. Ghana is interdependent. Yes. So I agree with uh, Nana Kwame Bediako that we should print our own money locally because the Nigerians are printing their own money locally. So the only thing is that there has to be transparency and honesty. Because if you don't have transparency and honesty, even printing our own money locally will become a problem because the people are dishonest. Yes. Point four, transforming social security. Bediako intends to replace the Social Security and National Insurance Trust with a national insurance fund allowing contributors to access their funds at any time. I don't think this is really way Bibia changing the name of an organization does not really mean much. So nhyehyɛ na organization yɛ no na ɛnyɛ a na wopɛ sɛ improve a improve mmom. But sɛ wobɛsan din no deɛ I don't think say that important. To me, changing the name is a waste of money. If you want to allow contributors to access their funds at any time, then uh, change Senate to do that. There's no need to change the name. That is my opinion on point four of Cheddar's plan or Cheddar's manifesto. Point five, establishing a national save sovereign wealth fund. This fund is envisioned as an alternative to the International Monetary Fund (IMF), aimed at managing the country's resources more effectively and reducing dependency on external borrowing. I agree with this very much. Ghana should be independent, and finding an alternative to the International Monetary Fund is critical if we're going to be independent. Nti, say you better find a way you rely on International Monetary Fund no ɛbɛboa Ghana. Nti, I totally agree with him on point five. Point six, infrastructure development. Bediako plans to develop a comprehensive water transportation system and an extensive railway network exceeding 8,000 kilometers to improve logistics and transportation across the country. Um, Obisi were disappointed. Say Nana Kwame Bediako Cheddar wentumi anka hwee amfa ɛpɔ no a wɔsɛ wɔde bɛfiri nkran akɔ Kumasi no. Na ɛno nti no ɔngye ne ndi because ade a ɔbɛka ayɛ initially sɛ ɔbɛyɛ wɔ kurom ha ɛma a obiara pay attention to deɛ ɔreka no sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔbɛyɛ president no. Sɛ ɛno koraa mpo nka ne manifesto ho a, ɛka deɛ ɔbɛtumi ayɛ a, ɛndeɛ nipa no sɛ nsɛm a ɔka nyinaa no ɔno wɔhwɛ sɛ ɔno ɔdwen sɛ ɛyɛ ntorɔ. Nti ɔno nso wɔ point. Yeah, because you can't come and tell the people of Ghana you're going to find a way to bring the sea from Accra to Kumasi and then fail to represent this in your manifesto. So there's a question mark on that one from for Nana Kwame Bediako Cheddar. Point seven, food security initiatives. He proposes the creation of a national seed bank to ensure food security for the next 100 years, leveraging Ghana's agricultural potential. I agree with him. I will say yedibi na yejebi. So having a savings mentality, both in our finances and in our food, how to preserve our food stock, so that when there's a famine, we will still thrive in a famine. Ɛno deɛ me ne Nana Kwame Bediako ɛyɛ adwene. We have to live our lives like Joseph in the Bible, who knew how to store food so that when there's a famine, his country will thrive. That is key to succeed in this world. Because as I said, I always say there are three things a human being needs: food, including water. That's why what's happening with galamsey is an issue. They have to find a way to clean the water and do clean mining and the food. Because a human being needs three things to survive on Earth: food, including water, clothing, so that you keep yourself warm from the elements. And three, so food is one, including water, two is clothing, and three is shelter, accommodation, home, somewhere to protect themselves from the elements when it rains and stuff like that. So, or the heat. Yes. So there are three things a person needs to survive. The rest is a bonus. So, food security is key. So I like point seven. Point eight, industrial transformation. His manifesto emphasizes the need for industrialization across all 16 regions of Ghana, focusing on job creation and economic opportunities. I think most of the manifestos and Alan John Kojo Chamatin's Great Transformational Plan out industrial transformation. So I think that's common across all manifestos and plans for this year's elections. Point nine, environmental and human rights protection. Bediako plans include measures to protect the environment and uphold human rights as part of the governance framework. I think if you want to live in a world and be part of the international community, you need to adhere to these. And so, Edanikwemu, it is the right approach. 10. Sports and creative industries. He aims to promote sports and creative industries, vital components of economic growth and development. So, we know that sports and creative industry is very important. I think I saw somewhere that he wants to build 16 multi purpose sports facilities across each of the 16 regions, which is a laudable plan. I think the New Patriotic Party were also planning something. I don't know where it is at the moment, but I think they started something. I don't think it has progressed much, but I'm also cancer baby sa New Patriotic Party, but I mean baby asemna kusi. And he said he's going to also create a Cheddar said he's going to create a top-notch recording facility for creative industries for acting and stuff like that. So I think that's a laudable thing. I think Nanado was going to do that with he was talking to Idris Alba, the Ghanaian British actor, about setting up a creative, you know, top-notch creative movie studio in Ghana here. But I don't know where it's at the moment. We haven't had an update about that from the New Patriotic Party. So, but I think there were some plans for that as well. Bediako's manifesto presents a comprehensive vision for Ghana, advocating for significant shift in governance and economic policy to foster growth and sustainability. So this is Nana Kwame Bediako's summary of his manifesto and some good plans there. Now let's move on to Alan John. So now we're looking at the summary of the Great Transformational Plan of Alan John Kwejo Chiramatin. So here it goes. Alan Kyerematen has introduced the Great Transformational Plan, GTP, a comprehensive strategy aimed at redefining Ghana's economic landscape and addressing key national challenges. This plan, which he unveiled in June 2024, is designed to foster sustainable development across several critical sectors, including agriculture, tourism, governance, and infrastructure. Key components of the Great Transformational Plan. One, agricultural revolution. The GTP proposes the establishment of agro parks and processing clusters to enhance agricultural productivity. These hubs will integrate advanced technologies and climate smart practices, focusing on irrigation, mechanization, and processing. Initiatives like Operation Own a Farm and Farm for Life aim to encourage widespread participation in agriculture, particularly among the youth. Kyerematen emphasizes partnerships with various organizations to boost output and self sufficiency in food production. Two of the key components of the Great Transformational Plan: tourism development. Kyerematen envisions positioning Ghana as a premier tourist destination in Africa. This includes revitalizing historic sites and developing beachfront properties to attract both domestic and international tourists. Streamlined visa processes are also part of this strategy to enhance visitor numbers. Point three: governance and anti corruption. The plan outlines measures to combat corruption by establishing an independent authority to oversee anti-corruption efforts. It also advocates for decentralized governance to empower local or communities in decision-making processes. Let me summarize the first 3 points. Alan say we focus on agriculture na with initiatives like Operation Own a Farm. Nti sɛ wopɛ sɛ woyɛ farming a ɔmo wɔ package bi a ɔmo bɛyɛ ama wo. Ɛna Farm for Life. Saa packages yi na ɔmo bɛyɛ. Sɛ ɛba tourism so a, ɔse ɔpɛ sɛ Ghana yɛ number one tourist destination ma nkurɔfoɔ a wɔpɛ sɛ wɔba Africa. Nti sɛ obiara sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔba Africa, ɔbɛba Ghana first. Nti ɔpɛ sɛ ɔhyehyɛ nneɛma na nkurɔfoɔ ɛba Ghana first. Na one of his strategies is sɛ ɛba ɛdan a ɛwɔ mpoano nkyɛn a, obesiesie mpoano dan no. Na nkurɔfoɔ baa yɛ akɔtena hɔ na wɔn atena hɔ na wɔatumi akɔ around akɔhwehwɛ tourist attraction site nyinaa ɛwɔ Ghana no. Governance and anti-corruption was say create a new office, anti-corruption czar, nipa oboro obehwe anti-corruption so into obe combine the office of the special prosecutor shrag any other agencies connect kahun to one body. And also so obe use the powers to change the constitution. Na what where your powers need be a free attorney general ho e de ama saa new uh, anti-corruption oboro no. Nti eno na Alan say oba a obeye. Those are the first 3 points. Anti-corruption and governance. Say na ebebu aman no. Also so opese or amambo decisions pi no obetumi ama local communities na decide. Nti obe focus on decentralization of governance. Nti obema powers, more powers to the local community. Point four, infrastructure enhancement. Chematen plans to evaluate existing infrastructure projects and promote private sector participation through fiscal incentives. Key focus areas include modernizing energy infrastructure, expanding affordable housing, and integrating digital technologies into urban planning. Nti Alan say, ɔpɛ sɛ ɛba sɛ yɛbɛsisi structures, roads, adan ne keka ho a in the past no government na ayɛ saa adwuma no. Ɔpɛ sɛ amambofoɔ no citizens of Ghana get involved in enterprise. Ɛba infrastructure development a ɔpɛ sɛ ɔyɛ enabling environment, ɔyɛ the proper fiscal incentives. Na ɔda no adwuma no ma private people. Ɔbɛ prioritize Ghanafoɔ no sɛ Ghanafoɔ a ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo ade ɔmo sika ɛbɛyɛ projects na ɔmo de ɛtoɔ to so for some years. After that na abɛyɛ Ghana property. Nti ɔmo te ɔmo ka nya ɔmo profit kakra a, na ɔmo adane ade no ama Ghana. na kyerɛ sɛ Ghana yɛ sika no a yɛwɔ no yɛmfa nkɔ sisi road ne adan ne keka ho. Private companies na ɛbɛyɛ na ɔmatete ɔmo ka na ɔmotete ɔmo ka wie na ɔmo nya ɔmo profit wie a na ɔmo adane ama ɔman no. Saa na ɔpɛ sɛ ɔyɛ more of that. Deɛ ɔmo frɛ no outsourcing anaa build, operate and transfer ɛne build, own, operate and transfer. Saa sort of arrangement na ɔpɛ sɛ ɔyɛ more of during his tenure as president of the Republic of Ghana. Point 5, economic stability and growth. The GTP aims to create a stable macroeconomic environment characterized by low inflation and sustainable debt levels. Kyerematen emphasizes the importance of a competitive private sector and disciplined governance to support economic growth. Nti yɛkyɛ sɛ Alan sɛ ɔno wakyerɛ kwan a ɔbɛfa so a ɔbɛma inflation nneɛma boa akɔ soro no aba fam. Na watumi atoto yɛ sikasɛm na yɛka no aba fam. Saa na ɔse wakyerɛ ne nyinaa wɔ Great Transformational Plan no mu. Nti ɔpɛ sɛ more and more no emphasize the private sector. Ɛna because ɛnyɛ government na ɛbɛyɛ projects are in the past government ayɛ no, the government will not be spending so much money and getting into all sorts of issues where they have to run to organizations like International Monetary Fund, IMF. So local people no get more involved. To say road say so per se usiesie road now wo sika no wobetumi get it sika no together and all the workers to do the work. Government to be outsource saa road na ma wo. Na wasiesie. Sɛ wosɛ wobɛgye toɔ de ate wo car bɛma wo mbrɛ na wɔde toɔ no sɛ take 10 years, 15 years, 20 years na watete wo toɔ. Nti ɛbɛyɛ toll road. Nti obi a ɔbɛfa road no so obetua biribi kakra na wode a clear wo car ne wonya wo profit. Na time no so bi a 10, 15 years no twa mu a na wadane road no ama government no. Saa na ɔpɛ sɛ ɔyɛ no. Health and education. Point 6. The plan includes expanding health services through increased private sector involvement and reviewing educational reforms to improve efficiency, particularly in the free SHS program. The Alan kind of say obetwa free SHS no so. Ɛnyɛ ade a obetwam. Nti sɛ nyame boa na Ghana to abama no a ɔno obetwa free SHS no so. Ɛna ɔbɛhwɛ na your health service, hospitals na nkeka ho no yɛatoto yɛ nneɛma yie. But ɔbɛyɛ review of free SHS program no. Na baby a ankɔ yie biara no wɔasiesie. Saa na Alan pɛ sɛ ɔyɛ. Point 6 ɛno no. 7. Digitalization. Kyerematen advocates for mainstreaming digital technologies in government operations to enhance service delivery and accessibility for citizens. And Alan say, baby a obetumi de nneɛma to digital platforms so ama citizens no yɛnya access to saa service no a ɛho hia sɛ yɛbɛ nante akɔ office hɔ akɔgyina queue mu ne keka ho no. Ɔde ne nyinaa bɛto digital platforms so na wama kwan ma citizens no, the citizens of Ghana etumi access saa nneɛma no. So obetumi a. Still, I don't think so obetwa mu sɛ obetumi akɔ office or physically. Sɛ asɛm aba deɛ a, but obe focusing more on putting things on digital platform concerning government services to the citizens of the country. And these are the 7 points and 7 focus places for Alan. So, wohwɛ Alan plan a ɔno wɔmfa n'ani ntoo so sɛ sika bi ɛwɔ coffers no mu. Onim sɛ sika no NPP government ɔmo di sika naa ma aseɛ no koraa mpo no a yɛfrɛ no council no ɛno nso ɔmo atete ne nyinaa a council koraa nka wɔ kyɛnse no mu. Mm. So there's no council in the coffers of the Republic of Ghana. Nti Alan plan na wayɛ no Great Transformational Plan no wɔyɛ firi n'adwene sɛ sika bi hyɛ coffers no mu ɛna Alan should know because ɔno na ɔka Ghana cabinet no ho current government uh, cabinet no of the new Patriotic Party as trade and industry minister. Mm. Nti wɔnim the extent of our debt ama Ghana sesei international bodies are sesei fit a kase Ghana yɛ junk status. Nti wɔnim sɛ nneɛma nyɛ koraa ɛwɔ government coffers no sika futuo no mu no ɛyɛ 0,000. Nti Alan no plan na wayɛ no ɔmfa saa adeɛ no nkaa ne ho sɛ obɛyɛ sika bi wɔ government mu de ayɛ biribi. Wɔde ato n'adwene sɛ hwee ni hɔ. Nti wɔatwitwa nneɛma so simple. Ɛna wɔse ɔno no ɔpɛ sɛ Ghana should rely on what it has. Nti so far as kurom ha yɛwɔ sikafoɔ wɔ ha a wɔbɛtumi ayɛ projects ɛde wɔn ara wɔn sika invest wɔ kurom ha no ɛno ɔbɛ rely on those entrepreneurs sɛ adeɛ a government na ɔyɛ first no sɛ wɔn bɛtumi outsource ama saa nkurɔfoɔ no abɛyɛ a ɔbɛma wɔn ayɛ ɛna ɔbɛboa nkurɔfoɔ to start businesses. Nti mo a moawie school no mo youth foɔ no a moawie no na mopɛ sɛ mo create industries no ne wei no ɔbɛhyehyɛ nneɛma na sika no a nka ɔmode bɛyɛ road no a ɛnɛ ɔmo outsource ama individuals and organizations a ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo yɛ road no na ɔmo gye toɔ fa road no so no for some years no wɔde saa sika no ɛbɛboa nkurɔfoɔ to start businesses na kyerɛ sɛ obi a yɛ n'adwuma kakra nti ɛma sika aba system no mu ɛna deɛ ɔmo export ɔmo adwuma na ɔmo nneɛma na ɔmo yɛ no ɔmo export kɔ nti ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛnya foreign currency. So ɔpɛ sɛ Ghana sika no a yɛnya from export no ɛdɔɔso nkyɛn deɛ yɛ spending in import. Nti ɔpɛ sɛ Ghana should be proud of made in Ghana things na yɛn patronize made in Ghana. Ɛno na Alan pɛ sɛ foster. Nti we're talking even about mindset change. Say we should be patriotic and we should go for Ghana first. Ɛno na Alan out. Ɛna sɛ na de bia meka sɛ na Ghana atete apansam no over the years after 32 years of NDC, National Democratic Congress and New Patriotic Party NPP. Ɛna nneɛma a ɛkɔ so with NPP ɛfa deɛ Napo Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh ɛkyerɛ sɛ the genesis of nsɛm a ɛkɔ so amanehu a ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ NPP mu no a ɛnɛ mpanyinfoɔ nyinaa yɛ kom wɔ NPP. Na nkɔlaa kumaa bi ɛne nipa kumaa bi ɛna making all the decisions. A yɛatoto nkurɔfoɔ no nyinaa a ɔmo yɛ original NPP nkurɔfoɔ no a ɔmo te the culture, the true culture of NPP yɛato ɔmo ato abɔnten baabi no. A ɔkyerɛ sɛ Genesis no started in 2010, 2011. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh akyerɛ yɛ sɛ the genesis of the issues happening and shenanigans happening in New Patriotic Party started 2011. So this is where we're going to end matters for this episode. If you like this type of content, like, share, subscribe. And Tihana de nsɛm nyinaa bɛsi for this episode. Na sɛ wopɛ deɛ wate no a, like, share, subscribe. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Alan's plan is above the rest. Lift your voice, let's make a choice. Alan's plan is above the rest. Lift your voice, let's make a choice. Looking past the divide, hearts so full, passions blazing, Alan stands with pride. His vision's amazing. In a world so tough, we need change to come. Promise come from NPP, NDC, but none match the drive that Alan brings. A new dawn inside, unified under his wings. Let's vote for what's right. Alan's plan, above the rest. Lift your voice, make a choice. Make a choice. Alan's plan is above the rest. On December 7th, let's cast our votes. Transformational dreams float. Alan sails will float. Our future's in our hands. Let's rise and stand with you